I'm resetting the NHL with a fantasy draft and will be selecting 20 players to build my team. For today's challenge, any players selected in the first round of the entry draft will be banned. After all the selections have been made, we will assemble the team and simulate with the hopes of winning a Stanley Cup. It's time to find out which team we're representing for the draft today. We get the... I pressed the button. I forgot that's why we went to here, but really, what are the odds that we're gonna land on the same team that we're currently on? I mean, I guess it's 1 in 36 if you include the all-star teams, but anyway, let's go ahead and find out. We get the Winnipeg Jets. How about that? There's a lot of luck going on here. Maybe this is the one. My game is broken. Very nice. We do indeed want a fantasy draft. The point of the whole video, no fog of war, no player morale, I just am not feeling it right now. And of course, no Jablonski. We're gonna get draft pick number 8. You heard it here first. I'm also gonna put the difficulty on pro in case we do jump in, because in the 2BC GM mode, he did the same thing. I couldn't even find us, but there we are, down at 22. The difficulty will not affect the sim, but it will affect if we jump into the game, and apparently that's the best for gameplay, so keeps it exciting, you know? Crosby wasn't taken in the first round, was he? I'm kidding. But honestly, I don't know if Yossi was. I feel like he wasn't for some reason. No, second round, and he's 93 overall. Sebastian was also a second round pick, and I'm sort of leaning towards him right now. We've taken Yossi in the past, and I'm not really sure. Yeah, let's go with Seb. A very early second rounder, but a second rounder nonetheless. Third round for Jake Gensel. Jake and Bate could be very solid on that first line. Tage Thompson, I genuinely have no idea when he was drafted. Late first. Yeah, it looks like Jake Gensel is going to be our best option. We do have Devin Taves. I think that defense and goaltending is going to be a little bit easier, but forwards are where we're going to struggle. So Jake Gensel is certainly a prime pickup. Brad the Rat Marchand was a third rounder. I forgot about that. You know what? Maybe I should do it. Yeah, you know what? No messing around today. No deliberating. We're going straight for the kill. Brad, it is. Markstrom didn't sim great for us last time. Neither did Freddie. Sergei Bobrovsky wasn't drafted at all, but he's also making 10 millis, so I'm not too sure about that. Allmark was a 6th rounder, and he's making 5. He's 88 overall, loaded with abilities. I believe we've drafted him before, but I don't know how he played for us. Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad. Wasn't in recent memory. So we'll give him another shot. Ekholm was a 4th rounder. We certainly need some defense. Spurgeon was also a late pick, 6th round. So maybe we could get these two. They are making a bunch of money, but what can you do? Yeah, see what I mean? Defense are going to be easy peasy. Let's acquire Philip Hronek. He's a right-handed D-man, 86 overall, 7.2. Maybe not, actually. I've changed my mind. We're going with Brandon Carlo. He's still here. Fine. You know what? Jared Spurgeon is hanging around the draft. Hanging around. We'll scoop him up. Zuccarello undrafted. I'm actually shocked that he's 37. For some reason, it feels like he hasn't been around that long. 4th round grinder. 85 overall, Ross Colton making 4. Absolutely. He's another left-handed D-man, but he is 84 overall on a really good contract, so it's hard to say no to that. O'Reilly was a second rounder, 90 face-offs. And again, another decent salary here for his overall, so sign him up. I feel like we have 3 left-handed defensemen already. Spurgeon's right-handed. Actually, maybe Carlo's right. Yeah, never mind. We're even. This man is an absolute unit. 6'4", 225. And he is eligible as he was undrafted, so certainly not a first-round pick. Jamie Benn, a 5th rounder, and he's got abilities, but can we afford him right now? I don't think so. However, we can afford Victor Arvidsson, who's making a flat 4 milli. I feel like he's the 3rd player that we're taking at that. Could just finish up the decor with Manson right now. I do think we have a lot of defensive defensemen, though, so I'm not sure I'm on board. I am, however, on board for Frederick Gaudreau, who is on a 2.1 milli deal. And he can be another centerman for us. You know what? I am going to take another defensive defenseman because we are going with T. Weiler Myers. He has a great contract for his overall. He's an absolute mammoth, except he was drafted in the first round. I really hope that I haven't taken anyone else that has been drafted in the first round. Have I been caught lacking? Let's find out. I'm going through every player right now to make sure, because if we have... No, we're fine. Gustavo Nyquist could be another great player. Sure. And why not the undrafted Kiefer Sherwood at 82 overall? Who says no? Not me. He is a right-handed defenseman. A defensive defenseman, sure. But I don't know if we have a whole lot of options at this point, so whatever. 7th rounder Ivan Fedotov. Is it worth the 3.2 milli? Or should we go with 7th rounder Caden Primo, who is making less than a mil? That seems more appetizing. Yeah, let's do it. All we need is forwards, and we have $10 million for 3 picks. Should we get some depth goal scoring? Huh? I'm kidding. I'm not going to do it. Adam Gaudette is on a very good deal, which opens up some room for the next 2 picks. Will I actually use it? Unlikely, but a 5th rounder nonetheless. Welcome aboard. Colton could be a good player for us, especially because he has 85 faceoffs. Sign him up. A depth grit grinder. Brandon Duhaime will be the final member of this team, drafted in the 4th round. Here's a summary of what our team looks like. Let's put the lines together. Will this team have the juice, or will we be rotten? It's time to find out what our lines look like, and we get a +5 on that first one. Love to see it. Jabroni, how about you never ask to edit my lines again? Our second line is pretty good here with Marshy, O'Reilly, and Arvidsson, and I love our depth. Defense, questionable. I'm assuming this won't make much of it. It does make a difference. So I'll 100% do that. They're the same overall. Allmark tending the goal with Caden Primo backing him up. I'll say that Jake and Bate gets the most points with 97, and I will say this team gets 46 wins en route to a playoff run. A lot of high-scoring games going on here. Can we knock it off with these waivers? I don't understand this virtual game one bit. Made a bit of a comeback here. We are 500-ish. If we can win one more game, we'll be overall 500. Right now, we either need to hope for one of 2 things. That is a stinky division or a monumental pickup in pace. I personally feel like that first line should be doing bits. All right, well, let's go edit the lines, try to shuffle things up a little bit and see if that makes a difference. This guy can play on the right side, so we're going to move him over here, and we're actually going to bring Bradley up. I'm not sure how I feel about having 2 snipers on this. He's a playmaker. Interesting. Okay, I'm down with that. I think that's the only change I'm going to make. I may actually move Ross Cole. No, I'm going to leave it. I feel like we should have a good team. I mean, maybe we're a little old, but I tried to draft some younger players. It's kind of hard, though, because finding a younger player that is good and didn't go in the first round, good luck. Lindy Ruff has been canned. Maybe. Mr. Arneal is an A, but what is his team fit is my cue of the day. 53. Lindy's an A-. If he has a better team fit, I'm going to think of 58. Well, we kind of suck anyway, so why not? I doubt Lindy's gonna make this record any rougher. I'll stop.
That's a joke.
Mr. Scott Arneal, you are gone, and I'm going to promote you to the interim coach while we await for Lindy to join. That was quick. All right, let's get it done. Not the best start with Mr. Ruff either. We are still struggling. The Penguins made a trade. Blackwood and that guy in exchange for Middleton and a 3rd. Wowza. Maybe this team is built for late in the season. We'll have a post-trade deadline not collapse. What's our division looking like? Can you please show ours? I would appreciate it. I'm not even going into the deadline. 5th right now, so it's still pretty open. Big win over Dallas. We got the Seattle Kraken here. Another win. Another pop-up. Does not look like it was meant to be. I really did think this team was going to do well. I don't know where we went wrong. Maybe we'll find out in the stats. Maybe we won't. We might still have a chance at wild card. No, we're done. We are as good as done. What a miserable season. I seriously don't know what this team is lacking. 39, 39, and 4. Yuck. Let's sim up to the Stanley Cup final. Might as well. We're not in the lofts anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Then we'll go look at the season stats and simulate the Stanley Cup final to see who takes home the ultimate prize. Stanley Cup final is between the Seattle Kraken and the New York Rangers. Just a terrible showing. 82 points, 39 wins, not gonna cut it. New Jersey is your President's Trophy winners. They got 110, 52 dubs on the season. Let's see if there's any crazy playoff scenarios. Yes, there is. Wow. Smashville with 86 points got in at 21. The Kraken at 18 also got in with 86 points. And we were one of the worst teams in the league. Great. Jake and Bake was awful, dude. What is that? 57 points in 82 games, 24 goals, and he was a first-line sniper with Sebastian Aho. Ryan O'Reilly did all right, 59, 60 from Gus. Congratulations. Goaltending wasn't our weakest spot. Not great, but I mean, compared to the offense, this is amazing. Both goaltenders had 2 shutouts, a 906 and 912 respectively. Our defense didn't do a whole lot. Maybe I did have too many two-way / defensive defensemen. Should have had an offensive D-man in there somewhere. Markstrom will be the league leader with 45 dubs. He had a 921 and 5 shutouts, so he had a great season. Hellebuck also had a great year. Same with Bobrovsky. Cale Makar, your Norris winner, no surprise here. 6 goals is a little insulting, but he did have 87 points. 71 for Dahlin, so not even close. And Pappy going to tie with Clayton Keller with 106 points. He is going to get the Rocket Richard, though. 63 tucks on the season. McDusty right here. He had 35 goals, 103 points. This is your President's Trophy winning New Jersey Devils. They are not in the Stanley Cup final, but they have Konechny, Matthews, and Hintz. Buchnevich with Eller and Meyer. Really good top 6. Gerard and Trouba starting on defense, Dursey and Krug. So a great top 4 there as well. And they have Marcus Andrade Flower in the net. It all makes sense now. Regs in the Stanley Cup final have Moore, Miller, and Besser. They did end up getting JT Miller back in this universe. It was a fantasy draft, but you know, I cannot help but look at this third line. Vetrano, Drouin, and Tippett. That's wild. Defensively, interesting. Vlasic, McAvoy, Soucy, Charant, and Pionk. You see what I see. Tending the goal. That is a good hockey team. And their opponent, the Seattle Kraken. They have Chucky, Heischer, and Marchenko, who is a Be A Pro legend from last year. Lindholm, Hurdle, and Zari. JJ Moser, Petrangelo. Dougie on the second pair is nuts. Their right defense, real good. Left, questionable. This guy shows up in almost every video I do with the Bender app. Dusty Wolf tending the goal with Spawns Martin backing him up. Let's see who takes home the Stanley Cup. One day at a time. You know the rules. Unfortunately, there was no first 3 games rule for us because we didn't make the playoffs. But the Seattle Kraken come out to a commanding 2-0 series lead on the road. The Rangers win their first game on the road, though, and the second, so it is a best of 3. Will the pattern of away wins continue? No, it does not. The Rangers win at home, and now they can win the Stanley Cup on the road, and they won't. It's a Game 7 back to Madison Square Garden, and your Stanley Cup champions are the Seattle Kraken. Providence will be your Calder champions. Great playoff run out of both of these guys. 31 points apiece. 16 goals for Besser, which is really good. Maybe Tkachuk is going to win the Conn Smythe. It depends on how their goalie did, but I mean, does it really though? They never give it to them. That is actually disgusting. I just puked in my mouth. A 941 for Dustin Wolf, sub 2 GAA, 16, 4, and 1 with 2 shutouts. I swear to you, if this guy doesn't win the Conn Smythe. That has to be the most obvious one of all time. So if he doesn't get it, it's being marked down as impossible. Dougie Hamilton point a game as a defenseman, so he might even have a chance there. Charmak, 15 points. And we got Neil. Pionk. Matthews gets the art, but Clayton Keller will get the heart for the Washington Capitals. Makar with the Norris, of course. Braden Point gets the Lady Bing. Calder goes to Lane Hudson. That's a new one. Love to see it. Conn Smythe goes to Matthew Tkachuk. You make me sick. Vezina to Jacoby Markstrom. Jake Yeo gets the Jennings. Sealer with the Bill Masterton. Berube awarded the Jack Adams. Heischer acquires the Selke. And this has pretty much become the Matthews Award ceremony in all of these simulations. He gets the Lindsay and the Rocket Richard. There is your playoff tree. I seriously still cannot comprehend why our team was so bad. I guess we lacked offensively, but why? Was it because we only had two-way and defensive defensemen? Maybe I got to spread it out more. I'm not sure. If any of you guys have found the secret formula, the Krabby Patty formula, to win the Stanley Cup, let me know. Trying to get to 60,000, so if you could subscribe, that would be tremendously appreciated. But if you just don't feel like it, fair enough. Hard to argue with that. We will get a Stanley Cup if it's the last thing I do. And it might be.